Good morning, Rachel Allen with Fitness, where I believe we as women have the opportunity to redefine what fitness is. I don't know about you, but for me it gets to be fun, intentional, and absolutely transformative. That's the way that I tend to stick with things. I've got to see some kind of change in the outer world that will continue to engage me, and I'm just really blessed by that, knowing that it does occur when I stick with the creative process. Some of the questions that I received this week were about the phases, I should say, of what I've described already in the other two videos about the pre-contemplative phase, contemplative phase, action phase, and what I consider or is deemed the maintenance phase of any creative process. A lot of times we ascribe it or detail it that way in the fitness world, but I do believe it is part of the creative process in anything that I'm moving toward, anything that is inspiring me, calling me to move forward, to engage, to do my research. And the first phase is described as what's called the pre-contemplative phase. The pre-contemplative phase is that phase where we're just kind of looking to see what is out there, what's available. We're not necessarily taking any action at this point other than really kind of checking things out. It's always the way that we begin to become more and more inspired. It kind of ignites the fire, or fuels the fire, if you will. The next phase is considered the contemplative phase. The contemplative phase is the next phase of development, which enables us or invites us to take an action. It may not be the signing on the agreement at this point or making a commitment to a trainer for a period of time. However, it does engage us in terms of beginning to investigate, putting our whole body into the experience of it. The next phase is described as the action phase. The action phase is where we are now making the agreement. We're now in the agreement. We've now made the commitment to the phase, to the transformation, to trusting the creative process, if you will. This week we just began the Healing the Losses workshop, and a long-time practice of mine and a long-time practice of pretty much every spiritual mentor that I've worked with. At the beginning of every workshop, we read what's called the commitment statement. And the commitment statement is this opportunity to say that I'm going to take a step forward and I'm going to watch and participate through that step, allowing the universe to take its steps towards me. And what we know is that through this commitment to take the action, is that things begin to kind of reorganize themselves. Where there was no time, there's now time. Maybe when there was no resource or finances for the agreement or for the function or for whatever experience, event that we're signing on to, all of a sudden we'll begin to describe and align with the finances. We'll align with the community support, the friends, the family. So we begin to move into seeing how the universe is now corresponding through my willingness to make a commitment to something. Then the next phase is the maintenance phase. The maintenance phase, I don't really believe in maintenance because what I believe is that we're always moving and continually moving. And I believe that as I move in the creative process, or I think that I've arrived in a location, there's always more being revealed to me about a deeper level of understanding. I get to go participate in that same creative process, if you will. If I've reached a level of success in my business success, then what I get to do is practice these same principles, these same steps in my relationships, or I get to practice the same phases of the development in my financial world. So there's never, for me, an ending. It's always an acceptance that there's going to be more learning, more discovery, more getting to step in and watch how the universe manifests itself as my life, in my life. And I think sometimes where we can get stuck is, or kind of retreat or move away from or say, yeah, that wasn't to be, is because we have what's called error beliefs. The error beliefs, consciously or unconsciously, knowingly or unknowingly, are always revealing themselves to us through these experiences, through these learning opportunities, if you will. It could show up through the food, it could show up through belief in not enough energy, lack of finance, like I said. So all of these things that we're moving in the direction of offers the opportunity to dissolve, to let those ideas go. So we have the pre-contemplative phase, we have the contemplative phase, the action phase, and the maintenance phase. So no matter where you are today, in whatever area that you're wanting to co-create a greater vision, a greater purpose, a greater intentionality, it's the time. It's the time to begin to look at that. What we described briefly in one of my other videos as well is this idea that we have the solstice, which is a time of rebirth. It's a time of really kind of diving deep, planting the seeds and watching them grow. I had it described, or heard it described as it grows with the dawning of the spring, right? As the lengthening of the days, it's like the life vision begins to unfold and show up and grow. So I encourage you to participate in this creative process. No matter where you have have success in your life, begin to look to see and see if you can describe those phases and what actions you took in those phases of your life that you have success, and become more and more willing to practice those principles in the other areas of your life, which is always really exciting. I've mentioned that on December 19th, and you'll find this on our Facebook page, I do have what's called a Discover Describe. So if you'd like assistance in beginning to see what's next for yourself, or maybe you already have an idea and you want to describe or put words to it in a more clear way, this is definitely the opportunity to do that. If you are familiar with maybe some error beliefs, some patterns that you'd like to let go of and you'd like support in that, this is also a great time, great workshop for that. So December 19th, we're going to be gathering a group of us, and if you'd like more information, log on to the Facebook page, go ahead and sign up, and I'll make sure I email you. Usually I like to connect with everybody about a week prior to, so if it's something that you would like more information about, definitely call me or email me. I also work with individuals privately, so if you are interested in knowing more or would like individual support in this process, feel free to give me a call. My phone number is 520-270-0409. My email address is idealday.today@gmail.com. I will know that we have the opportunity to support one another, like I mentioned, in this creative process, continue to uplift, inspire, and to not set limits on the good that we get to create through this creative process. So I get to support you in making sure that your life is fun, intentional, and absolutely transformational. It keeps us coming back. Happy Saturday to you. Enjoy your holiday season, and I look forward to connecting again. Peace and blessings.